SmoothTickets.com and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you. Doug Stewart here to tell you about my man Smooth at SmoothTickets.com. Smooth's got the tickets for everything that you need in the world of sports, concerts, or theater. I don't care what it is. I don't care where it's at in this great land of ours. My man Smooth at SmoothTickets.com, he got them tickets. I'm telling you, boxing, baseball, NBA, NFL, country music concerts, hard rock, hip-hop, theater, Broadway. He's got them all. And if he don't have them, there ain't none. I'm telling you, SmoothTickets.com. Once again, that's SmoothTickets.com, or give him a call at 404-374-1150. Once again, that's 404-374-1150. You got to tell them, though, that I sent you. You got to tell them that Doug Stewart sent you. Once again, SmoothTickets.com. That's SmoothTickets.com. Yeah!
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt. Specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Paying tribute to the great Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. I got to tell you about a poll, a Dougie Daily we got going on today here on the Doug Stewart Show on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Go to the Doug Stewart Show Facebook group or the Two Live Stews Facebook group, and you'll see a poll that we put on there. And the poll question is asking who had the worst loss. And that comes about, you see the title of today's show is Durant in Demand, Shawty. We talk a little bit about basketball, and here's a quote, kind of a quote from, what's his name, Draymond Green. He says, after being introduced with the rest of Team USA in Harlem yesterday, they had the opportunity to talk to Draymond Green. He says, I don't know if that loss will ever be free from my mind. He says, I don't know. There's a different dynamic to everything at the end of the day. There's something set in stone. And talking about Kevin Durant and going and possibly playing for the Golden State Warriors. But he also talked about the loss that they had in the finals to the Cleveland Cavaliers. And the fact that, he doesn't know if he'll ever get over it. And it started me thinking, man, it started us thinking as a staff that, man, which was a worse loss? The Golden State Warriors losing the finals in the fashion that they did, or the Seattle Seahawks losing to the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl a couple of years. I believe it was 2014 and 2015. So that's kind of like the poll question for today. Your Dougie Daily / your Dougie Daily. Which was a worse loss? Was it the Seahawks losing to the Patriots in the Super Bowl? Or was it Golden State just a week or so ago losing to the Cavs in the NBA Finals? Both of them were very, very tragic. Yeah. Very, 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 very tragic. And so I don't know, man. And I remember when the Patriots won the Super Bowl and they beat Seattle. And you know what happened at the goal line, first and goal on like the 3-yard line, and ended up throwing an interception to Malcolm Butler for the New England Patriots defensive back. And I remember saying for many, many days and really weeks probably afterwards, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, that's probably the worst loss that I ever seen in my life, based on the scenario, based on the fact that, you know, the game was pretty much over. All they had to do was score. They had beast mode in the backfield, you know, a guy that you would think could pick up a yard or two, and they lost it. They threw a pick. They should have never thrown the damn ball, but I remember saying that was like the worst loss I can ever remember, and there's been a ton of bad losses in the history of sports. But just off the top of my mind, man, I kind of wanted to keep it simple, you know, with Golden State being real fresh right now with the loss to the Cleveland Cavaliers, which they were down 3-1. They were down 3-1, and there's no rational way that they should lose that series, but they did. And so that's your poll question / your Dougie Daily question today. Go online at the Doug Stewart Show and the Two Live Stews Facebook groups if you're not a part of one or the other. And cast your vote, and we'll give out that answer a little bit later, or what you guys voted a little bit later, and like what was the worst loss. Woke up this morning, man, and a couple of tragic losses in the world of sports. Pat Summitt passed away at the age of 64, longtime Tennessee Volunteer, women basketball coach. I guess, you know, complications from Alzheimer's disease. And also, like an hour or two ago, man, the great Buddy Ryan, longtime coach in the NFL, defensive coordinator, originator of the 46 defense for the Philadelphia Eagles back in the day, and the Chicago Bears, the 85 Bears coach, passed away at the age of 82, man. So rest in peace to those two. Crazy. And Pat Summitt, obviously, I mean, I'm not a big women's basketball fan. I've said that before. Pat Summitt, you talk about the greatest coaches ever in a particular sport, you know, you could probably make an argument in most sports. Like in basketball, I'm sure a lot of people would say Red Auerbach with all the championships that they won in Boston. If you're talking about pro teams, all of the championships that they won in Boston. A lot of people might give it to Phil Jackson. You know, Pat Riley might come into the conversation. Football, I mean, obviously, Vince Lombardi. You know, a ton of great coaches. Bill Belichick. There's a ton of guys. But in women's basketball, clearly, you know, and college basketball has been around way more than the WNBA. So if you're talking about the greatest women's college basketball coach of all times, it's not even a question. It's Pat Summitt. Now, Gino Auriemma, you know what? Let me back off that a little bit. I think Gino Auriemma might be, you know, very, very close. But Pat Summitt probably is the person more responsible for the maturation of women's basketball and taking it to new heights and setting a standard of dominance way before Gino Auriemma. So she's gone to glory, and the great Buddy Ryan's gone to glory too, man. What are your thoughts? 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. But once again, the easy way to be totally interactive is just to jump into the chat room on Spreaker.com and give me your thoughts. You can give me your thoughts in the chat room as well about, you know, who do you think had the worst loss, the Seahawks losing to the Patriots or the Golden State Warriors losing to the Cavs. I'll read some of your chat today. We'll get some of your thoughts. If you've got any thoughts about Pat Ryan and Buddy Ryan. The thing about Buddy Ryan, I remember, and I think everybody would probably say pretty much close to the same thing is how much the players love that dude. And it's well documented that when the Bears won the championship in 85, what most people would say it was the greatest, most dominant defense of all times, they carried two guys off the field. They carried the head coach, Mike Ditka, but they also carried Buddy Ryan off the field. You know, so there was a lot of contention between those two guys, and ultimately they ended up splitting, and Buddy Ryan obviously went to the Philadelphia Eagles. It didn't really have a lot of success as far as wins and losses, but man, to a man, and I saw, what was it, an E60 documentary, or it might have been one of those Beyond the Field. I can't remember, that's not the name of the show on ESPN, where they highlighted and talked about Buddy Ryan, but man, players just absolutely love Buddy Ryan, love playing for that dude. And so, man, rest in peace to two legends in sports, Pat Summitt, and the great Buddy Ryan. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug@thedougstewartshow.com. The other part of that Durant, Golden State talk was there's a lot of conversation out there right now about Kevin Durant and his free agency. Free agency gets started the 3rd, which I believe is Sunday night at midnight. And there's this talk out there about him being pursued and trying to be talked into, taking visits to particular teams to play with other players. One in particular, the New York Knicks. And I know Vern and a lot of Knicks fans out there listening to the show right now love to hear this. But when we come back from the break, I want to talk a little bit about word on the street about the Knicks and Carmelo Anthony putting the full court press on Kevin Durant to come to Gotham City and play with them and help them do something that they ain't done in over 40 years. Yes, sir. And that's winning an NBA championship, man. 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug@thedougstewartshow.com. From Tiffany Evans, she says she interacted every day with the girls' class act. I guess she's talking about Pat Summitt. Yeah, I mean, obviously, the Puppet Factory for new listeners to the Doug Stewart Show is ESPN. Obviously, the Puppet Factory have been interviewing all these different people that played for her and showing all of these clips of people that played for her. Pat Summitt at Tennessee. And, I mean, every single person that they talk to, that they put a microphone in front of their face, has nothing but glowing things to say about Pat Summitt. And the thing about her, another thing about her, man, is I think she's the first lady that I can remember that really, came across with that hardcore coach mentality. And I've had hardcore coaches where scream and fuss and cuss at you all day long. My daughter's got a coach right now who's a very good coach, but he's old school. And he's screaming and he's spitting. And Pat Summitt seemed like that type of person, that type of coach. Really hardcore, really dismissed the fact that these were young women that she were dealing with. And she just treated them hard, and I think that'll be a lasting memory of the great Pat Summitt as well. From Jay Fish to Microwave, Uncle Mike, I cried like a baby for like 45 minutes. Laugh out loud. What you cry about, Patty Cake, Microwave Man? Clay, Jerry, Curl, Flash Davis in the chat room on Spreaker.com. Once again, Stewie's plenty of great football teams have not won a Super Bowl, but only one team has lost a championship while being up 3-1. And talking about that Dougie Daly question, that poll question that we threw out there at you. Golden State losing to the Cavs in the NBA Finals this year, or the Seahawks losing to the Patriots in the Super Bowl. I mean, that's a very good point. I mean, it's never been done. What was it, 32 times? That situation had happened that a team had came from 3-1, or that there was 32 teams, different years where a team was down 3-1 in the NBA Finals, and I think only 3 times or 2 times the teams actually pushed to Game 7, and obviously both of those teams lost. This is the first time that a team actually came back from 3-1 and won an NBA championship. I mean, that's pretty damn big. Now, I'm just going to take what y'all say in this poll, man, but that's pretty damn big. The thing I would say about the New England Patriots and beating, the Seattle Seahawks is all of the variables, everything about that situation, the time left on the clock, the personnel on the field, says that Seattle should have won that damn game. I'm sorry, and I blame Pete Carroll for allowing the offensive coordinator to make that dumbass call. I mean, they're both bad, but that's a very good point, Clay, Jerry, Curl, Davis. When we get back from the break, let's talk a little bit more about Kevin Durant, man, and this free agency, and Carmelo Anthony, man, putting the full court press on this dude. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show.
Mic check. Yes, this is your humble host, Marcus Harper. And make sure you check out my show, the Marcus Harper Podcast, on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Yes, hop aboard this train of thought. Weekly, 60 minutes of work. I got you. Sports talk, soul beats, and life. Again, the Marcus Harper Podcast, weekly on the SME Network. Check me out. Life is good.
coming straight from the A.